Hi everyone, my name's James Cuchell, one of your colleagues. I think I've met most of you. We're going to have a little look at how the Eden Education online learning platform looks and works. There are loads of features, but I'm just going to give you the real kind of get started approach. So setting up a learner group and why we would want to do that, and running our first live class. So under student groups, what you will see at the moment are 27 users. Those are 27 learners registered with Eden Education. We're going to keep them in that group because that's kind of the collective kind of archive of where all our students are. But to make managing our own classes easier, you don't have to do this, but you might want to set up your own individual grouping. So for myself, I've got a GCSE class that runs on a Thursday afternoon. To be more specific, I can change these titles or pad out the description at any given point. So you'll see here there's currently no users, so I want to add my learners into those, but what I don't want to do is I don't want to take them out of the main grouping, because naturally different learners want to still be in different classes at the same time. If I go to student profiles, this will give me the list of the full 27, and I'm going to select the learners in my class and attach them into my extra group. Now when I was selecting multiple learners earlier, for some reason it wasn't allowing me to put them all in bulk, so I'm just going to do it one at a time. So Alex is in my group, Amelia is in my group. So you'll see there I'm clicking on, once I've selected the students, I'm clicking on group, extra group, and then it is looking up what extra groups exist. At the moment, only my group. I have one other student who I need to put on. Where are you, Mason? There you are. So if I go back to student groups, we still have the main group with all 27 learners, and then an extra group that assigns to my math class with 4. The advantage of having a class group is when you invite people to your classes, you don't have to keep selecting individuals, you can just invite entire groups to your class. So that brings us on to starting a live class. Normally I would set this for a Thursday afternoon, which is when I would normally run my lesson, but for the sake of this I'm just going to run a test class to start within the next few minutes. You can set your duration. If you want it to recur each week, do so. One thing you do need is you need a classroom. So the idea of this is it's almost like a physical building. We need to assign where people go. The purpose, why this exists is to do with our license, so that you can have however many classes going on at the same time. So I'm going to select my GCSE class. If you're just doing one-to-one tuition, there are a couple of kind of default tuition rooms. And permissions, there are various options. You could technically send out an email invite to anyone you wanted to attend. You could make it available to anyone within anyone who's registered at Eden, but perhaps the one thing that's more applicable is selecting the students who you want to attend so that only they can attend. Now that should allow me to either add individuals from the main group, or because I've created a class group, here we go, they're all there, so they're all invited, so they should all be able to log on now. If I go to my live classes, here's my schedule for the day. You'll see my test classes coming up. One of the options that there was another tab saying options. It allows me to say that I can log on prior to my class starting, which is useful. I can get set up if I want anything on my whiteboard in advance. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to log on to my class now. The first time you enter, you will be asked to download a plugin that allows this to work. If you haven't, I've tested it in my office on a PC and Windows. It seems to work fine. I'm doing this on my Mac at home. It's quite a few years old, my Mac as well, but again it still seems to be working okay. So yes, it's called Electa Live. I've downloaded it, so it should work quite okay. Now I was playing around with this earlier, and it seems to have kept all my doodles on from before. So I'll just click on a new whiteboard. In fact, that's quite nice actually. I didn't realise it can save your whiteboards if you need to come back to them in the next lesson. So useful little feature I've just found. Okay, so this is our classroom, and I've got that nice new whiteboard open. If you want people to hear you, make sure you click on the activate mic. I'm going to turn it off because you can hear me from this screen recording. You will see who is in your lesson here. Naturally, my students don't know this test is taking place, so they're not going to be here. They can type things here. They can respond. You've got quick buttons. So when you ask questions, you can see which people are saying yes, which people are saying no. Hands up. Yeah. So just like a nice real classroom. Isn't that great? And I'm happy. You might want them to see you if you feel you can communicate better. So this camera allows us to put you on screen. Now apologies, I'm filming this from home, and for those of you who may not aware, my life's a bit chaotic at the moment with a newborn child, so there's laundry everywhere, so apologies about that. Anyway, hi, nice to see you. I'll keep myself there for a while. I haven't tried out all the features in this classroom, but one important thing you may wish to do is up on the top right hand side, you will see this record button, and you can record your lesson. Which is great because if anyone misses your lesson, they can log on and catch up with it. So cracking feature. I'm going to pause that now. I don't want too many recordings happening at the same time on my computer, just because I don't fully trust it. But when I'm doing my actual lesson, I would be recording them. So I haven't tried out all the features, but hopefully it becomes quite self-explanatory. Your whiteboard is what it says on the tin. If you've got a touchscreen computer with a stylus, you can physically write on. That would be great. You've got your texts. You can change the font size and things. So all little things to play around with. For us people who do mathematics, oh look, a regular hexagon, beautiful thing. Add pictures, and so you might want to actually prepare your whiteboard in advance of your lesson, so you're not even screening up, because then you could just flick between your whiteboard screens. One thing that seems to be quite good is the questioning tool, where you can set a poll, so you can determine what type of answers you want, and then your question. So how do you feel? This isn't going to work because I don't have anyone in my lesson, but you would receive how they respond to those questions. Okay, I'm going to turn my little video off now, so great to see you. And I'm also going to close out of this lesson. I'm just going to press this button to power the lesson off. Take myself back to my browser. Apologies, my desktop's quite messy at the moment. And in my schedule, you'll see that my live class is still running. I can delete that at any particular point or modify it. One thing you might notice on resources is you have recorded classes, and here we are. It's my recording. I can do all the usual kind of editing of the names and stuff, but it's there. It says we have unlimited space, so in theory you can keep the lessons up there, although we might decide that a good policy is to only have them on for a certain amount of time so people can actually find them easy enough. But that would be the actual recording of my lesson. I'm going to get rid of it because you don't want to see that test over and over again. So hopefully that's enough to basically get you started. Anyway, it's been a pleasure making this for you. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. Good luck over the next couple of months, and if we all help each other out, we can really make a good success of this. Okay, over and out. Thank you very much.